Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Katu News at 6. I'm Deborah Knapp. Continuing coverage of a three-part Katu investigative series on Oregon's sex offender population. Tonight, we're digging into how law enforcement agencies keep you safe when convicted sex offenders are living in the community. We found at some point supervision ends for nearly all of them. Tonight, Katu investigator Wright Gazaway explains exactly what supervision entails so these offenders don't do it again.
It might surprise you to learn supervision will eventually end for most people convicted of sex crimes in Oregon. We found the supervision serves the offenders and the victims of their crimes, at least until they're done with that supervision. After that, the trust is in the hands of the offender.
Come here, me. Good girl. That's why I have 2 German Shepherds at my house, and they're my guard dogs.
Tiffany Edens has come a long way since December 1986.
When I was 13 years old, Richard Gilmore, also known as the Jogger Rapist, broke into my home and attacked me and brutally raped me. And so that brought me into this world of monsters.
Gilmore was quickly arrested, convicted, and sentenced to more than 36 years in prison. He admitted to raping nearly a dozen other teens and young women, but because of the statute of limitations at the time, faced no criminal consequences. Gilmore got out of prison in late 2022 after 36 years. Since then, he's been under the watchful eye of Multnomah County's Department of Community Justice.
Do you have any peace right now knowing that he is supervised and he's being monitored by a parole officer?
Yeah, at least somebody is managing him, right? Or keeping tabs on him, knowing where he's living, knowing where he's working.
Gilmore is one of hundreds of people on supervision for sex crimes in Multnomah County. Alan Troutwine and Janie McCord are 2 of 9 officers on the county's sex offender unit. Each officer has a caseload of 30 to 40 people.
They're going to be in the community, and we need to have them be successful in the community and not have, and continue to thrive and do the things that they need to do.
They approve where people live, where they work, and hold people convicted of sex crimes accountable. That can include planned and unplanned visits.
You are coming in to see someone, you can shower, dress, get ready, you're presenting what you want to present. If we just show up, then we get to see what's in the community.
The agency looks at a range of factors to determine how intensely to monitor these individuals. That includes the crime itself as well as risk assessments to determine how likely they are to do it again. Washington County does it the same way. They also have 9 officers supervising about 370 people. Both counties have low, medium, and high levels of supervision. Kaylin Barrios and Nate Gowieran are the deputy director and director of Washington County's Department of Community Corrections.
So you run those assessments, somebody lands in that high-risk category. What does that supervision look like?
It's much more intense, especially early on. So we have contact standards that we have to meet. We do home visits. We do office visits. We monitor several aspects of their life. And we intervene when we see problematic behavior or things that are antisocial in nature.
Nate says they do that by interrupting what he calls the cycle of abuse. He says that cycle starts with grooming, then acting out, before a window of remorse and a short honeymoon phase. Nate says that's a period of being nice and even damage control. Then it's back to grooming.
Our job is to intervene as fast as we possibly can when we start seeing those cycles of abuse happening.
These experts say the vast majority of people on supervision will not commit a new sex crime. Nate says his agency's officers spend most of their time focusing on the small group of people who are likely to continue finding victims.
That's where we really earn our money, is that very small population, but very dangerous population.
Nate describes supervision like a 3-point plan. He calls it the containment model. 1 point is the probation or parole officer. The other is a polygraph exam or lie detector. That determines whether their words and actions line up. The 3rd point is a sex offender therapist or treatment.
You are responsible for your behavior. You can control your behavior and acting out. And through this process of containment model, we're going to help you build those skill sets.
Malka, where you going, girl? Malka. Oh, good girl.
Changing those behaviors means fewer victims. Survivors like Tiffany Edens.
I'm still crying, still grieving for the things that I lost due to Gilmore breaking into my house and raping me.
And hopefully a little more peace of mind for the day their abusers will one day be off supervision.
One question you might have is how the state determines how long people are on supervision. The short answer, it depends. The length of supervision is essentially determined by the judge at sentencing and outlined in state law based on the crime. Counties have no say in the length. Again, it eventually ends for nearly every single offender. The only requirement after supervision is over is they must register every year with the state or immediately after moving. Right, Gazaway, K2 News.
Well, you heard it mentioned there. Probation officers and other experts say treatment is one of the biggest ways people convicted of sex crimes change their ways. They argue they do change their ways. As our investigation learned, offenders do not get treatment while in prison. We'll look at what the experts say works next. Plus, what does the data say about how often people commit another sex crime? That's next Monday right here on K2 News. This is all part of a three-part K2 investigative series on Oregon's sex offender population. Last week, we explored the debate over Oregon's public sex offender database and whether you should be able to see more information about registered offenders in your community. You can find that story right now on our website, katu.com.